You know, because a lot of young men, I'm sure you're also as the Amir quite concerned about this, a lot of young men are taken to violence for some reason or the other, but they're taken to violence. And they see the Taliban as the new anti-imperialists and not the Jamaat-e-Islami. So how are you going to reach out to these young men?
Well, this is a thesis. Some people might analyze this way. I don't analyze things this way. I think youthful people, they are fed up with the status quo. There's no doubt about that. The so-called big parties, they are not going to conform to their platform or to their views or ideas, etc. They are in search of new platform or in search of new faces. And that is why word revolution is being used by some people. The revolution is knocking at the door.
Can you provide them with that leadership? Can you provide them with that revolution?
It might take some time, but hopefully we shall be providing them.
How will you do it? Because they are looking towards the Taliban. They have looked towards the gun. They don't believe in, let's say, politicians or in politics.
You are so much in favor of Taliban. I don't subscribe to your views. You are so much favor of Taliban. So as far as Pakistan is concerned, I don't think Taliban phenomena is a political phenomena. I don't think that it's a revolutionary phenomenon as far as Taliban in Pakistan.
So what kind of revolution can you offer to these young men who have drifted away?
Revolutions are not offered. Revolutions come themselves.
How will they come?
Through.
And how can you help?
In our context, I don't think this word of revolution is used positively. It is basically anarchy. And there is nobody to support anarchy.
There have been several accusations in the past against your party. One of them being by scholar Hafiz Tahir Ashrafi. And he has alleged that the MMA was hatched by former ISI chief Lieutenant General Mahmood.
Who is this person, by the way?
He is a scholar Hafiz Tahir Ashrafi.
I don't know.
He has in fact compiled a report, and he has said that not any member of the MMA has contradicted this
and
report.
he's so important that you have narrated his story here.
He says he has a picture to prove it.
I don't know this person.
You don't know this person?
I haven't heard or read about it.
But what do you make of the accusation?
It is not important.
Why is
the person is not important and nobody else knows about him.
Okay,
so
nobody else knows about him. You do know Mr. Asad Durrani, don't you, sir?
Who's Durrani?
Mr. Asad Durrani.
Asad Durrani, yes, I do know. I have heard
now, he brought in an affidavit in the Supreme Court. And I'm sure you're aware of that affidavit, in which the ISI was said to have given 5 million rupees to the Jamaat-e-Islami.
What happened to that affidavit then? We did contest that affidavit. What happened to that?
Well, so it's still a submission in the Supreme Court.
Constitutionally or legally, he could not verify and he could not establish his document.
But he has an affidavit.
He might have that is rejected.
He was former ISI.
If he is not in a position to let the court know that he is on the right side of the path, how can you proceed? In the legal way, you cannot proceed that direction.
So this is the affidavit.
No, you might show the public gallery. You are playing to the public gallery. This is not positive. You are taking my interview, or you are supporting Durrani. What are you doing?
No, I'm just presenting to you. So I'm asking you a question.
And I have answered the question.
Okay.
That what happened after several years of this documentation? What happened? The court did not take any notice to this unimportant thing. But you are showing this document.
So you say that these accusations are unimportant and should not be addressed?
No, not only unimportant, illegal, unfound for, and unconstitutional. That is what the court has given the judgment.
And so they never gave any money to the Jamaat-e-Islami or to the media wing of the Jamaat.
You are talking about the court. The court has given this judgment.
Mr. Asad Durrani has made a claim that he had given money.
You are representing Asad Durrani, no doubt about that.
Right.
You are playing a positive role for Asad Durrani.
I'm just taking his statement from the newspapers.
Even Asad Durrani is not taking it so seriously, but you are more serious than Asad Durrani.
All right, we have to take a short break over here, but after the break we will ask the Amir of the Jamaat-e-Islami about serious allegations against his party and where his party is going as a national political party. Munawar Hassan Saab, you were recently in Karachi. You just came back from a tour of Karachi. Now, some weeks ago, you also made a statement that those people who did the Ashura tragedy in Karachi are the same people who are responsible for the May 12th carnage in 2007.
To be precise, I would say that many events in Karachi are still to be attended properly. On the 12th of May, every channel showed the whole story, what is happening in Karachi, when Chief Justice of Pakistan went to Karachi and he was not allowed to come out in the city. The same happened on the 9th of April when advocates and lawyers were burnt and their offices were burnt for some people. The same story repeated on the 12th of Rabiul Awwal in Nishtar Park when many Muslim scholars were murdered. And then again, you have just rightly quoted about the Ashura. So unless and until all these events are to be conducted properly and the culprits brought to books, I don't think Karachi can meet the requirements of peace and tranquility.
Who do you think was behind this?
In fact, this question should be asked to the governments, and I also ask the government that they are responsible for everything. But when, I might remind you that on the floor of the House of the Sindh Assembly, a minister, Agha Siraj Durrani, who is a local bodies minister perhaps, and another minister, Zulfikar Mirza, who is an interior minister, they spoke and gave a charge sheet to MQM. MQM walked out from the assembly and they spoke at length and they charged them like anything. But the next day, or the President Zardari went to Karachi and everything was okay. So I think if hush-hush is being given and things are not properly attended.
And you think that they're doing it just to keep the coalition together?
Yes, that's it.
You really believe that?
And there is another big question mark. People's Party is a majority party in Sindh. I still do not know why they have invited MQM or anybody else to join hands and to curtail their business there and to curtail their progress, as they do say. So when they are in majority, who has compelled them to let MQM also come into the government?
You know, the MQM has always been a bitter rival of the Jamaat-e-Islami. They have also alleged several things about you, one of them being that the Jamaat-e-Islami has these links with terrorist groups. They, quote several times, they quote the terrorist Khalid Sheikh, who was arrested, and he masterminded the 9/11 attacks, and he was arrested from Sabia Shahid's house in Rawalpindi in March of 2003, Sabia Shahid being somebody who is a member of the Jamaat-e-Islami. So how do you then respond to such?
No, I don't respond. I do say that there is a law of the land. And if there is something negative or unlawful, the law should take its own course. And the law did take its own course, and they could not find anything alarming or something very disturbing. So that is why everything is okay. Because otherwise, if we had been in a picture which is disallowing the law to function, I don't think that we would be scot-free.
You wouldn't be scot-free. Now, there was also a breakaway faction of yours called the Tehreek-e-Islami, and they have been implicated in the parade ground mosque attack in December of last year. And your critics again have accused your party of having these kind of members, maybe a breakaway faction. Did you know that these people were involved in some way or the other, or did you suspect?
I myself, at the personal level, am alarmed and surprised. We might not be knowing persons individual level, at the individual level, but they have parted ways. They had been in Jamaat, and that is some 17, 16 years before. So new people might have come to their platform, but even still, I do not reconcile that they have started doing this type of activity.
You didn't expect it of them?
Because whatever or whosoever I know in Tehreek-e-Islami, I myself am not in a position to reconcile or synthesize things. But since some people say that they have been caught red-handed, so they should be brought to books, no doubt about that.